Hello Cancers, welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. So happy to have all my Cancer buddies in the house with me. We are going to do your December into January love tarot readings. Very excited. Yeah, happy to have you guys. I think, as you know, I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is insane, and I am so grateful, especially to my Cancer squad, because like you guys turn out like no other sign. I love you guys, so honestly, with extreme gratitude and thanks. I appreciate you guys. So anyway, as always, guys, these are going to be general messages regarding the topic of love for those who associate with Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. And cross-watchers are welcome. Not everything I say will resonate with you out there because these are general messages. So that being said, I always invite you to come into this with an open heart and an open mind. Sometimes messages will resonate for you in a few days, in a few hours, in a few weeks. So if they do later on, fantastic. Congratulations. It means it was your message. If not, you can push that energy aside, you can drop it like it's hot, you can release what doesn't serve you. It is up to you to always remain in the driver's seat of your own life, your own spiritual path. These messages are supposed to empower you, guide you, offer you some sort of insight if that's what you were seeking, and ultimately let's have some fun, right? Happy holidays. I hope you guys like my snowflakes. I was so excited to put those there, even though I'm in LA right now, but I'm planning to go to the East Coast and I hope we get lots of snow. Anywho, as I ramble, everything else about this video is in the description box below. That includes the decks I'm using, as well as my social media channels. I'm the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. Drop a like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video here. I would appreciate it. Yeah, you guys know the drill, right? Welcome to all the newbies, though. I'm happy to have you guys as well. For Cancer and Love, we'll throw some more on here and we will jump in shortly. For Cancer and Love, Cancer and Love. Wow, you guys got a lot of cards here. Cancer and Love, Cancer and Love. Does anyone else miss Mana? I don't know if you guys watch her. She's sort of a tarot reader. She uses a different deck, but she's a Cancer, and I miss her. She's going away, and good for her, for she's following her spiritual path, but she was a Cancer, and I just loved her energy. I loved her readings, but yeah, I think her channel is going bye-bye, so sad. Bye, Mana. I'll miss you. She was a great reader, and still is. I'm sure she's going to do something great, but yeah. I'm sure a lot of you probably watched out there, too, because she had a huge amount of subscribers. And yeah, she's a Cancer babe, right? All right. Cancer and Love. Let's start off with one of these. Between Worlds. All right, so I'm going to read from the book because these cards, not only are they new to me and I love them, but the book expresses exactly what you need to get from this message, so why waste time listening to me ramble, right? Just to get my Cancer started. In relationships. All right. Between Worlds. This is a time to explore the new energy between you and another. All right. It is not a moment for certainty, but rather for discovery and curiosity. You don't yet know if this will last forever, so allow yourself to explore who you are and what is reflected back to you. This relationship is meant to educate you about yourself. What do you need? What do you like or dislike? What values are important to you? You are in a critical phase of your relationship that is not to be dismissed or hurried. All right, very cool. All right, let's hop into your tarot reading. We will keep that in mind as we move forward, but yeah, that's a cool card. I love it. It's got a great duality. It kind of has like a Geminian feel to it. And Gemini, I just did their reading. It was all about the dark and the light, and there was this great metaphor about the black swan and the swan princess, which granted I know it's a flamingo, but yeah, keeping in that like dark light bird metaphor, there might be something in that for you, particularly if you are a Gemini Cancer cusper. All right, so my Cancer's energy, looking for love, 6 of Wands. All right. So a great card. 6 of Wands is usually a card of victory and success. In traditional tarot, it's depicted as riding victoriously through the parade, all eyes on you, ultimately because you've escaped some sort of chaos or conflict or just a really hard battle, but you fought your way through with your own energy, with your own power, determination, and now it's like, yeah, you can kind of celebrate and gloat, and or maybe not gloat, but you can be proud. You've extended a great amount of energy and courage to fight for what it is that you wanted, and it's almost like you've achieved the next level. I am sort of getting like a video game metaphor, like, you know, Mario Kart. You've gained the star, and now you're on to level 2 or whatever. There's victory here, and I like seeing wands, especially. I'm recording this in Sagittarius season, so depending on when you're watching this, yeah, that fire energy, right? She kind of looks like a fire queen. Yeah, victory. It's a good feeling. It's a card of Leo. You may have strong Leo in your chart. Let's see. So underlying energy here is oh gosh, this deck is new to me. Hold on, give me 1 second. This is the 5 of Wands. Okay. Well, that makes sense. You go from the 5 of Wands to the 6. And then you also have the Devil. All right, interesting. But victory is what's like the foundation of your victory and success is conflict with the devil. I actually love the metaphor there. It's like fantastic. You had like a dance with the devil, right? Like the butterfly. It makes me think of that line in Batman. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Well, clearly, Cancer, you did, but you beat it. You beat the devil. So that's going to mean a world of different things to everybody out there, but I'll give you some generals, right? So this is the card that comes before the 6 of Wands. Chaos, conflict, tempers, anger. It can also be competition at work. It can be competition on the dating field, right? Feeling like you're not good enough. But ultimately with Wands, energy, action, power, fighting through it, right? It's like you're stuck in between these branches and you only have yourself to get you out. But look, you get out and you're set free, right? The butterfly is set free. Particularly a great metaphor because so frequently the death card in Scorpio season, the Scorpio card is the death card. It's shown as transformation in the form of a butterfly. So it's almost like making our way from Scorpio season. That's when a lot of you did this internal work. I just got the chills. Wow, you guys. A lot of you did this internal work in Scorpio season and decided what you could leave behind, what you didn't need to hold on to anymore. Devil, hello. And then you set yourself free, and there's where that pride and accomplishment comes through, right? Celebrations, the victories of what you accomplished. I mean, your card, Cancer, is the Chariot, forward movement, and also a card of victory. Very cool energy. So anyway, throwing examples at you. The Devil card could literally be a Capricorn, right? It doesn't have to be. If it's a Capricorn you're still with or married or involved in, it could have just been a rocky time in your relationship. You went through kind of a rough patch, but you were able to free yourself. For others of you, it may have been a very difficult relationship with a Capricorn. And I mean, ultimately, I'm saying that because this is their card. They're the card of the devil, for better or worse, right? Love my Capricorns. They're not all terrible people, right? That's important to note here. The devil, more frequently than not, though, stands for difficult situations that we get stuck in, right? So addictions, codependencies, lacking self-confidence, feeling overwhelmed by life, burdened by life. Questioning our own skills and our abilities, ultimately because that ego wants to keep us safe. It wants to keep us in the comfort zone. But it's like you busted through recognizing that this isn't what you want to call home anymore, be that with a person and a job, literally a location or space that you may have been in. There's freedom here. There's growth. There's travel maybe for some of you, especially in Sagittarius season. It feels like you had been kept... I want to be careful how I phrase this. I was going to say you've been kept in the dark, but it was almost by your own doing with the devil. That's very much the message that comes up with the devil is like, it's sweet and alluring and intoxicating for a second, but overall, it's not going to help us in like the growth and development as spiritual beings, right? So there's something about this relationship, this job, this whatever, this dynamic with your family, examples here, that initially it seemed like you could power through, or initially, there's something very maybe sexual about it that was just, I like this. It feels good. It feels fun. But ultimately it was keeping your butterfly, if you will, stuck in like these bramble bushes. It wasn't allowing you to grow and thrive. But somewhere along the line, you guys became illuminated to the fact that this is what was holding you down. This person, this situation, whatever it was. And I do see it as extremely self-empowering, Cancer, that you were like, this isn't the story I want to write anymore. Like, I'm going to flee. I'm going to get the hell out of here. And it does involve a huge amount of risk, especially emotional risk for you, Cancer, because there may have been something about this that felt like you needed it in your heart space. You needed it. For a lot of you, it was probably codependency, and no shade. I got lots of Cancer in my chart too. I get it. For some of you, it could have been drug addiction. It could have been food addiction. It could have been just living a really unhealthy lifestyle that, again, wasn't growing or growing you as a person, but really challenging you, forcing you to step up to the plate and like take ownership of your life. It was easier just to like, it was easier to give your power up to the devil. And I'm saying this in metaphor. I hope you guys understand what I mean. It's easier to have excuses why you can't move on, why you're stuck, why you're not able to do it. And what's interesting, though, is you're not doing that anymore. And the epiphany, the power, rests with you, Cancer. So if you're still kind of going through this, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But I will say in Sagittarius season, it is about taking action. It is about motivating yourself, looking internally and finding out essentially what inspires you? What motivates you? What is it that, you are passionate about with all these wand metaphors, right? You're moving forward away from whatever or whoever was keeping you stuck, and the decision rests with you. It's not like all of a sudden the devil's like, well, Cancer, that's all I got for you. See you later. It's like, no, I'm out of here. Like, I'm better than this. I deserve more. I'm worth it, right? Sounds like a L'Oreal commercial or something like, because I'm worth it. What is that, Maybelline? I don't know. Whatever the hell it is. You decide to set yourself free. You decide to break away potentially from the pack. This could be multiple people. This could be a job. And as I said, there's beautiful risk, but also freedom involved in this. I'm just getting it's the right choice. And that's doubly confirmed by, hey, you got a victory here. There's pride, there's courage, there's success here to be celebrated. I love it, Cancer. All right, what should we throw on this? Well, we'll do Kawaii. I never use this deck on camera because they're so like simple and basic. Kawaii literally means like, I think, cute or adorable or something. I think it's Japanese, don't quote me on that. But these cards are so cute, and it just felt like we need to keep it light, right? We're heading into the new year. We need some optimistic love readings, but ultimately I only read what the cards tell me. But yeah, I like this deck. It's cute. I don't think I've ever used it on my channel before, but I've had it for a while. What else do we need to know for Cancer? I feel like we're supposed to clarify this devil. For some of you, it was trying to get the attention of a lover or a romantic partner, and they just wouldn't budge. They were extremely either selfish or just lacking in the love that they could give. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably because they didn't love themselves. So like you came along, Cancer, and they didn't know what to do with you. For a lot of you, yeah, it felt like a partner where it's not that they were wholly terrible or completely bad, but something about it, it wasn't a good fit, and maybe it took you a little bit longer to finally figure that out. Oh wow, you got a lot here. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Wands. So you have the Six of Wands twice, confirming that victory is sweet, right? It's depicted with candy. I love that. So yeah, you have the same card twice. More wands, forward movement, action. Yes, you were conflicted about starting anew because you recognize that starting anew would mean that you would have to move away from this person to sow your seeds elsewhere with the Knight of Pentacles. It's a card of Virgo. Knights bring change and movement into our life, and ultimately, because these are in reverse, it's the idea of rejecting them, not wanting to look at the conflict, the difficult words or actions or difficult position that this person put you in, because it's almost like by recognizing it as a truth, as a situation that actually happened, it would essentially tell you, hey, like, this is a beautiful, pure, new beginning that you're supposed to take advantage of, Cancer. And look, you do, right? I mean, these are sort of one and the same. But yeah, for a long time, it's like you over-invested energy or mental gymnastics on how to get this up and running with this Capricorn, this devil, this whatever difficult situation. Mental gymnastics on how to try and get it to work. And then suddenly, eventually, you do realize it's not worth my efforts. It's so much easier once I stop trying to fight this person who just doesn't want to build with me, right? It's like you decide to go build on your own. Very empowering, Cancer. I like it. All right, cool. Let's see what your person is coming up as. Now, this could be someone from your past, could also be someone from your future. We'll see what the energy presents as. The Queen of Pentacles. All right. I like that. It's like when you decide to be the Knight of Pentacles, potentially you meet like a nice counterpart, a queen, someone who's like in your elemental field, somebody who vibes on your level, if we're going to use that in metaphor. Interesting though. Okay, so it is a card of Capricorn. I'm just going to put that out there. All right, so then you have the Three of Wands waiting for your ships to come in. And then you have, oh my goodness, the Nine of Wands. All right, so more wand energy for your person. I am sort of feeling like this is the same person or situation that you eventually left behind, Cancer. If another message comes through about something new, then I will absolutely share that with you. But yeah, to me, this is saying something about this person was waiting on a dream to come true, and that's why they couldn't invest their energy or their time with you. something about this feels very dream catcher to me. And interesting. I'm getting like a couple different metaphors here, but ultimately it's they were waiting for something to come to them, but they weren't taking effort forward. As I was saying, this person could have been kind of selfish or lazy. That's not the typical depiction I get, but it's almost like they look at this daunting staircase of you need to climb to chase your dreams, right? The star, the moon. You know, when you say you're my sun and the moon and the stars, you're my everything. This person took a look at the road it would take to get there and they were like I'm kind of tired. And just they're waiting. They're waiting for it to be easy. They're waiting for something to come to them. And if I know my Cancers, that shit ain't gonna fly. In a relationship, it's no. It needs to be equal at best, and I'm not saying this is good, but a lot of my Cancers out there will do most the heavy lifting in a relationship because a lot of you, not all of you, feel like it's your duty, it's your calling to love and give and make other people comforted. And that can be a beautiful quality, but it can also be a quality that gets us in Cancers into trouble, right? Overextending yourself, giving to the point where you're receiving nothing back. It's you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you've been in a relationship with someone who's just kind of toxic or lazy or narcissistic, eventually the love is going to run out. It's going to be bone dry. That's sort of what I'm getting. It's you guys needed to set yourself free from that because this person wasn't willing to make the effort. They weren't willing to ascend and go up that path with you. This person was probably lacking lacking spirituality in their life, or just not vibing high. I don't know how else to say it. Waiting, but to their own demise. They may have had a lot of fire in their chart, and I'm only saying that because the underlying energy, fire within, it's their fire was, if that's the case, it's their fire was snuffed out by their own lack of motivation. They weren't utilizing, almost magician vibes. It's they have the tools on their table to achieve things, to accomplish things, to make their dreams come true, but they were either too blind to see it or rejecting the idea that it could actually manifest, that they could create it, that they could make it happen. They just don't seem terribly motivated. And that's usually, I love the Queen of Pentacles. It's typically a great card, but because it is double Capricorn vibes, and even if it's not a Capricorn, it's mirroring this other person that, as we were saying, I think you've left them behind, and more or less it is presenting as a victory, even if it doesn't feel like it at this point. Yeah, it's they've had the key the whole time. They just chose not to unlock that door to salvation, right? To spirituality, to love, right? It doesn't have to have a religious connotation, but they've held the key the whole time. And this is also another metaphor. It's you gave them the key to your heart, and look what they're doing with it. It's just dangling there. There is something a little bit, narcissistic, or they were playing games with you, Cancer. That's sort of what it feels like. Interesting. All right, so just because you are my Cancers and I love you dearly, I'm going to throw another card down. So if this is resonating as, well, actually, before I do that, if this is resonating as an old person, that's sort of the message I'm getting. If it's someone new, if you don't have any baggage with anyone in your past, you may have a Capricorn coming in. And again, there is that metaphor of the key to your heart. I'm not saying it couldn't ever be a good mix. But I'm sticking with what I said, though. Even if you don't have a person in your past and there's potentially a Capricorn on the market, or an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn that you're interested in, again, they may not be the one to make the first move. They're going to let you come to them. So, maybe some of you love that. Maybe some of you are empowered by that because you get to make the first move. But I'm sensing that some of you are not super into that. All right, so that's one option. Spirit, give me another option for my other Cancers not relating to this video, or not relating to this specific message about the Capricorn or Queen of Pentacles situation. For another group of Cancers out there, their person, the Queen of Wands. All right, well, there's that fire queen, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is a card of Aries specifically. All right. Ace of Wands. Not bad, not bad. What else do we need to know about this Queen of Wands? She's the work hard, play hard queen. This came up in Gemini's energy. Okay, so some of you may be dealing with a Gemini in the future, and it may start off as friendship. It may not instantly feel like this flirtatious romantic relationship. It would start off kind of slowly, which is interesting. And the reason being potentially Gemini or an Aries, Leo, Sag, whatever. If that's the case, it's because they're not able to focus all their attention on you at the time. They've almost like spread themselves too thin. Or, I mean, it's the holidays, right? People have a lot going on with family and this and that. So maybe you meet them at a New Year's party or at a social gathering, a friend of a friend at Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever. You might meet them and it's like, oh, okay, cool, like, nice to meet you. And maybe you meet up again in the future. But again, it would take a little while to get that ball rolling. But yeah, it could potentially be something. And especially Queen of Wands. I like that card. That's pretty powerful. Anything else about this Queen of Wands Cancer needs to know? The Nine of Pentacles. So a card of Virgo as well. The Nine of Pentacles is like the self-made man, the self-made woman. So this person is probably very money savvy. They've had to rely on themselves for a lot of opportunities in their life. And so, yeah, they may be very guarded at first, which is interesting. They would be flirtatious, but guarded, if that makes sense. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. Yeah, even the dual, this might be a Gemini, I just keep getting that. The duality of like the spreading of like the angel wings, it's spreading to reveal and show you. It's very flirtatious. It's like, I want to get your attention, but then I'm going to take it all away and hide it. Even though it's depicted here like potentially angel wings, that's how I'm kind of seeing it. And then like feathers, it's something about them is guarded that they're not wanting you to know about yet. I don't think it's anything bad. It feels like they may actually come from money and they don't want you to know about it because they're maybe embarrassed that they grew up with like silver spoon mentality of everything was handed to me. So it's very interesting. It's like what is very important to this person is for other people to know that they work very hard. And with any fire sign, it's work hard, play hard, right? So they want to be acknowledged and celebrated for their effort, for their hard work, for the things that they contribute to society. So I will say it's actually very opposite of this other person. If this is resonating for anyone out there about they were too lazy to like go up the stairs with you, metaphorically, to ascend the relationship, this person will put in a lot of energy and effort, but they're going to be guarded at first. Yeah, that's just what's coming up there. Let's throw one more of these on there. But yeah, it's like they've got a little nest, and maybe it's money set aside for a rainy day. I'm just getting that this person has a good, solid foundation. They've worked tremendously hard. Again, they're self-made. And yeah, there's something about, I want to be careful. It's not that they're into playing head games, but there is something about like they come off very flirtatious, but they put it out there and then to see if you react. And then when you do, they kind of withdraw because they want to understand more. They don't want to risk everything that they've already built, and yet they come into the room and command the room. So I will say they like a little bit of attention. They like that, but then it's almost like they get themselves into trouble because once they get that attention, they're not sure what they want to do with it. And so they do come from like that Virgo energy of planning it out. It's a very interesting dynamic, fire and earth. Again, nothing bad, but again, I would give this time, as I always say, Cancer, proceed with caution, right? Use your intuition. All right. Reciprocity and Knight of Cups. I like that. And then you have Five of Swords here. Yeah, it's like they make an offer and then they pull back. Usually Five of Swords isn't a great energy, but again, I'm not terribly surprised by this because that's the duality of what's presenting with this person. It's like they show up and show off and show out or whatever you want to say, and then they retract, they withdraw. So that's sort of what this is. And Cancer, you potentially don't know what to do with that. Rightfully so, because it maybe it's a little bit of a head game, maybe a little bit. But what's saving this Five of Swords for me is that they are capable of reciprocity. You get what you give. And also the Knight of Cups, romantic offers, flirtation. was saying, they put it out there, and then when they get it back, when they get attention from their showing off or their flirtation, they don't know what to do with it. That's sort of why this is coming up again. It's like they put their cup out for love, but then, interesting, it's like they're used to dishing it out, but they don't know how to take it. When somebody flirts back or extends the offer back of, oh, hey, I'm interested too, they're sort of taken aback by it. And again, it's not bad. It's just this person has a really interesting approach to the whole dating thing. I would say maybe some immaturity, but I mean, they are presenting as the Queen of Wands, so interesting. You got a couple messages going on here. Let's see what's between you guys. Let's move on. Oh my God, this is going to be a long video, Cancer. The Three of Swords. Well, there's that heartbreak card. I'm not terribly surprised because this was presenting as your person the first time around. I kind of did this other one as like an option to someone else, but yeah, this potentially lazy earth sign or lazy Capricorn or just kind of selfish, narcissistic devil person that you had to free yourself from. That's what this is relating to. This is kind of a whole other message for a different group of Cancers. Again, it's not a bad message or anything like that, but yeah, I think this person has a few things to figure out before they're like really coming in with a solid offer. They are a little bit self-focused, right? And I think with them in the past, they haven't taken a lot of risks. And so it's almost like they're trying to overcompensate now because maybe they've been so focused on work, they haven't been putting themselves on the dating scene. So when they do, again, they kind of don't know what to do with it. It's like they're still like a student of love, sort of, and that might be why the Knight is coming up. It can be a little bit dreamy or immature or like hopeless romantic, but I'm not really getting that. It's more just like they're not skilled with how they present their emotions. This person may be a little bit guarded of their emotions, or I mean, they're able to present and show, but it's like what's underneath. Okay, they don't like to be vulnerable. That is what's coming up here. It's like this is what exists within. So they come out as like a knight to extend their cup, but it's almost like they're so nervous it's going to be rejected that when it's not, when there's reciprocity of Cancer, like, oh, hey, and you flirt back, they're like, ooh, I don't know what to do with this. It's cute and it's funny, but that's why this is coming up. They're playing mental gymnastics almost with themselves. I don't think they're doing it to be a jerk to you, Cancer. They're wishy-washy. I think they're still figuring out the whole dating, love, romance thing. And I mean, they are. They're presenting as a knight, right? They're not a king yet. King or queen. All right, so Three of Swords, interesting. Seven of Wands, or is this Seven of Swords? Ooh, it's Seven of Swords, okay. I'm sorry, Cancer. Yeah, this is pretty rough. So as we were saying, you gave this person the key to your heart and they didn't do much with it. They left you dangling there. They maybe kept you kind of like in secret or in the dark of their true intentions. This is sort of like a depiction of that. It's like you gave them their heart and this is what they did with it. And I don't even know, I hate to think that their intentions were so malicious that they meant to hurt you. But that's ultimately what this dynamic is. It's like they stuck the sword in and they took it back because this was their shiny object and they wanted to keep it. There is something very selfish about, I do want to say potentially a past relationship. And so this is coming up as Seven of Swords, like sometimes the liar, cheater, thief card. But what's so interesting about the depiction is that there's a rainbow up ahead. It's about following the pot of gold, or following the rainbow to the pot of gold that's going to lead you to a relationship that has much more value to it, something that is more stable and like a seed that could grow long term. I just kind of am getting like you needed to get the hell out of there. So the Mother of Swords, this is the Queen of Swords. It's a card of Libra, and this is also a card of Libra, an imbalance in the heart. There was an imbalance in the love that both of you were able to give. And it's like, Cancer, you gave and you gave and you gave. And then it felt like they ripped your heart out of your chest. And yeah, this person, again, I'm not saying this is typical for all air signs, but they are presenting as a sword, very cold, very sterile, very cutting, right? This person was probably very blunt, but to the point where their words were hurting. Ugh. I'm going to clarify this. What is the Seven of Swords about? Oh, it's the Six of Swords. All right, that makes so much more sense. I'm looking at the depiction. I'm like, what the? I'm going to be super honest with you. I got this deck like 2 weeks ago, so I've only used it a handful of times. So Six of Swords, that makes so much more sense. Good Lord. Six of Swords is about moving on from difficult situations. It's about moving on from the Five of Swords, essentially. We were saying someone was playing like mental gymnastics with you, someone who, again, wouldn't metaphorically go up that staircase with you, build a home, build a future, right? They were kind of stuck in dreamland of almost like waiting to be handed their dreams on a silver platter. And ultimately, Cancer, you couldn't do that, but it's not your job to do that, right? So it's like this mental chaos and conflict of how do I make this work? And am I not giving enough? And why don't they like me? Essentially, like, this is sort of saying it was time to move on. You learned everything you could from this person. It was time to move on to brighter shores, you know, to bluer skies. That it's like light at the end of the tunnel, moving away from this dark energy, right? The dark energy, rainbows, again, following the rainbow to your dreams, to your goals, to people who are going to have more reciprocity in love. And what's interesting about this, it's almost like this person likes to give, but as I was saying, they don't know what to do when they receive back. So it's not that this person doesn't have love to give. This person B, I want to be very clear, whoever this is to you, kind of maybe like a someone who's just naive or afraid to be really vulnerable. They do have love to give, but they just, yeah, they're sort of balancing the scales of how they want to approach relationships. I like this energy a lot more than this one. I gotta be honest. So some of you may be leaving it doesn't have to be an earth or fire sign behind, but it's interesting. Both those signs are actually presenting quite strong in both of these. So, you know, take only what resonates, Cancer. But yeah, this is about moving on from somebody who stabbed you in the heart. You know, I wish I could say it in a different way, but all right, I'm going to throw a romance angel on these two different people. So on this, you have two queens presenting. You have Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then Aries, Leo, Sag. What do we want to put on this? Ooh, too many cards. All right, we're going to do this, this, and this. Let go of control issues. This is presenting as them. So this person may have had control issues. Maybe that's why when you pass the key to your heart, they weren't willing to, like, again, build that future with you, go down this path with you. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, Cancer, maybe they felt like you were painting them in a corner and they just didn't know how to proceed with you, so they just didn't at all. Maybe that wasn't communicated. So then with this Queen of Wands, rather, heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Yeah, I think that makes sense for this too, because again, this is the person who's kind of ambivalent about what to do when there's reciprocity in a relationship, because maybe they've always been the one giving, like you, Cancer. So again, potentially this could be a good match, but your person needs to get real with themselves and real with you, right? You need to be able to speak emotions, right? That is a language you are quite fluent in, Cancer. Your person needs to be able to vibe on that level and do the same. So yeah, don't be afraid to get real with them. Even, you know, you may risk intimidating them a bit when you kind of toss the ball back of, hey, I'm interested, let's go out. If they don't know what to do with that, ultimately you're going to have to figure that out. So it's like the sooner the better. Like let's get like the heart of the matter out into the open so we can discuss our feelings honestly, right? That's what this card is saying. Yeah, so moving on is when you're going to find more passion. What does it say? Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. There was nothing singing with joy in this sort of relationship where ultimately you felt stabbed in the heart. You felt stabbed in the back. Somebody took your love and ran with it, right? And they didn't give it back to you. They didn't want to build. So yeah, especially if it's an air sign, I would drop it like it's hot if this is resonating, right? Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like that energy, Cancer. When you decide to free yourself and start anew, there's victory in that. You have the victory card twice, but it's going to take courage, right? It's not going to be easy, and it does take action. Action and movement forward. Underscore, action forward. All right, let's see. What is your advice or guidance, my Cancers? The Ace of Cups, starting anew in love, and the Magician. Yeah. You, Cancer, are magic. You have all the tools you need on your table, on your tool shed, however you want to say it, to find true love, but love has to start with you, recognizing your value and your worth, and loving yourself, right? Showering yourself in that good energy, that beautiful, loving energy. Because when you essentially decide to move on from something or someone, it could be a job, right? It doesn't have to be a person, who isn't filling your cup. As we were saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, that's a sign that relationship is not going to stand the test of time. This is presenting to me as someone who is very like magnetic, somebody who has a lot of sex appeal for one thing, but also love of self, right? This isn't a person who's caught up in the why wasn't I good enough and why did they reject me and this and that. Like, you don't have time for that anymore, Cancer. Like, this person will make it known if they're willing to work with you, right? They may do it in kind of like a naive or silly way, but ultimately, if they're going to step up to the plate and play ball with you, you know, whatever that means, you will know, right? I just kind of want to say, like, let's be done with this mental gymnastics of, but why? Why didn't they like me? Why didn't they want me? They were supposed to go up the stairs with me, you know, like, I'm all talking in metaphor here, but yeah, this didn't work out for a reason because they weren't ready to build. That's even what this is saying to me. It's like they're all tied up together. This person is like a victim of their own, it's like their own self-lacking or lack of a desire to move forward, to build and grow somewhere. I mean, they are presenting as the devil, so not progressing, right? The opposite of faith and spirituality, the devil, right? Darkness. You're presenting out in the light, like you're coming out of darkness and you literally hold light in your hand. I always get this metaphor for Cancer. Some of you are light workers, right? Let's clarify it. Some of you are ready for the real one now, and thinking about, am I going to meet that person that I'm going to marry one day? Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Yeah, but presenting yourself out into the world of I am love, I am light, I am beautiful, I am great, I am amazing. The universe literally mirrors that back to you. She's being like presented with like this cool mirror behind her. So put out into the world what you want to receive back. Again, a lot of metaphors of reciprocity, right? Put out your cup into the world. If you're looking for love, make sure you're spreading love and light and happiness and joy out into the world. And enjoy the moment, right? Live in the moment. Don't be so stuck on the past, and also don't project so far into the future. As I said, some of you are like thinking about wedding bells, but you're still single. And that's okay, right? It's okay to dream, but something about living in the moment when you're not so focused on, is this the one? Is this my person? Go out and date, right? Maybe you got to kiss a few frogs to meet the prince, so to say. It could be something like that. Let's throw one more on this. Oh, actually, I want to do one of these. Set yourself free. What is that Paul Simon song? Just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. No need to be coy, Roy. Just set yourself free, or something like that. I just heard that. It's about leaving a person behind who is toxic, or a narcissist, or just isn't, they're just not contributing positively to your life. Set yourself free. And maybe this whole spread has to do with a job. Maybe this whole spread has to do with leaving behind a narcissistic parent who's kind of kept you under their wing. And it's, again, it's time to bust free from this, like, it doesn't feel good. There's no love or warmth here. It's dark, and it's like these brittle twigs that are about to snap the minute you step on them. It's like this can't withhold or withstand any more pressure or any more fights, arguments, disappointments. Like, it's about to break in half, so you may as well flee now before it gets really messy. That's sort of what I'm getting with that. All right, advice or guidance for Cancer. Reflection. More mirror imagery, right? Just like this. Again, this to me is saying put out in the world what you want to receive back and reflect on what it is that you really want and deserve. Ace of Cups is urging you, Cancer, to look elsewhere, to look in a new spot. I mean, you have the Fool coming up for a reason. The Fool doesn't look back. It's Aries energy, the start, right? Maybe the start of the new year, potentially, right? You're ready to find a cup that matches yours, that is your equal reflection, right? Mirror, mirror. And between worlds, it's like you're on the cusp of leaving this old story behind, this old version of yourself that, yeah, maybe you were like a servant to the devil, you know, in metaphor. Maybe you were staying in a relationship that was abusive or unhealthy. You can see the rainbow up ahead. It's like you just have to decide to jump in your boat, to jump in your chariot, right? And move forward to the light, to something better. All right, Cancer, that is what I got for you. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates for you, and I will see you very soon for more tarot readings. Bye!